Hey folks, now we came to the part 2 of the chapter Theory of Demand, and in this part we will be discussing types of demand. Now, this is a topic where we have classified demand for various goods on the basis of the number of consumers. So, whatever the classification we are doing here is basically on the basis of the number of consumers of a product, and also we are taking it on the basis of nature of the goods, interdependence of the demand, nature of the use of the product, etc. So here we are going to discuss 5 major types of demand. Okay, the very first one is going to be your individual demand. Now, what is an individual demand? A demand made by the individual consumer, a household, a single consumer. When makes a demand, we say it is a individual demand. So a individual demand is a demand made by a household or a single consumer. Okay, that is individual demand. That means the demand for the defense, okay, demand for weapons is made by the government. Demand for weapons. So here in this case, government is the single consumer, is the only consumer, is the individual consumer demanding defense materials or defense weapons. So that is an individual demand, a demand made by an individual consumer. Okay, now we come across the second type of demand, which is your market demand. So market demand is nothing but the sum total of all the sum total of all the demand of all the sectors is what we termed as market demand. So the market demand refers to the total quantities of a commodity that all households, okay, when we talked about individual, we talked about only this household, but when we are going to talk about the market demand, we are talking about all the households present into an economy, and they all are demanding their products and all the quantities of a commodity which overall and all the total amount of consumers have asked for, we say it is a market demand. So market demand refers to the total quantities of a commodity, refers that all the households are willing to buy at various prices during a given period of time. So for example, you can talk about, in case of the example, that you can take total quantity of milk. Okay, here I am taking the example of total quantity of milk. Okay, now what happens, this quantity of milk, when we say total quantity, that means all the buyers who are willing to buy at a given price per day is the market demand for milk. So this is what we talked about as an individual demand and the market demand. Now one more thing that you need to remember about the individual demand and the market demand is that the market demand curve that we are going to talk about little later is going to be the horizontal summation. What I said, horizontal summation of individual demand curve. This is the question has been asked during your pre-boards and the boards. So I just mind you that market demand curve is the horizontal summation of the individual demand curve. Now, the second type of demand that we are going to talk about is ex ante and ex post demand. Now, what is ex ante and ex post demand? So, the ex ante demand refers to the amount of goods that consumers want. Okay, consumers want or willing to, but they have not actually purchased it, but they are willing to purchase it. They wanted it, but then they have not actually purchased it. So the demand which is of the goods that consumers want to or willing, the keywords here, want to or willing, Okay, so they have not actually purchased it, but they wanted it to purchase. Okay, it is the planned or desired. Okay, what we said, it is a planned or desired, planned or desired amount of demand. Okay, so this here we talked about ex ante demand. Now the next type of demand that we have is ex post demand. Now what is ex post demand? The ex post demand on the other hand refers to the amount of the goods that the consumers actually, okay, actually, it is an effective purchase, it is an effective demand. So exposed demand is what consumers actually have purchased during a specific period, okay, and at various possible prices. Okay, so it is the amount of the goods actually bought, exposed demand. Okay, so actually bought. So there are other names also that we can refer to ex ante and ex post. So if I am referring to ex ante, I can say it's a want demand, it is a notional demand. Okay, one more word, notional demand. Planned demand can also be the other name for the ex ante. Now for the ex post demand, we can say it is an effective demand. Okay, so this is how we have second type of demand being discussed, ex ante and ex post demand. Now we move to the third type of demand, joint demand. Now, the third type of demand that we are going to discuss is the joint demand. Now, what is a joint demand refers to? It refers to the demand for two or more goods which are used jointly or demanded together. So, when the word together comes, you need to understand that it is nothing but joint demand. So, when we demand two things together, like without ink, pen is useless, so with the pen you will be demanding ink, so the ink and the pen becomes the joint demand. Similarly, you can take the example of cars and petrol, butter and bread, milk and sugar. So these all are the examples for the joint demand. So the demand for the goods having joint demand changes simultaneously. So if the demand for one car is going to get increased, okay, then the demand for the petrol will also increase. So therefore we say that when the two commodities are demanded together, their demand also is going to increase simultaneously. Okay, so this is the third type of demand that we talked about, that is joint demand. Now we come to the most important and the most confusing type of demand, which is derived demand. Okay, this is one of the most important and the confusive part with the students, that is derived demand. Now what is derived demand? Let's talk about it. Now the demand for a commodity that arises because of the demand for some other commodity. What I just said, I said demand for a commodity, for a commodity. So what is a derived demand? Derived demand is nothing but demand for a commodity that arises because of the demand for some other commodity. Now a commodity, other commodity is the reason for the any other commodity for its increase in demand. For example, this might have not very clear that much, so we take example here, the example of the houses. Now if the demand for houses and other buildings is going to get increased, okay, now what will be its effect on the other products, like the products which are related to the house manufacturers and the building manufacturing, the demand for those also will get increased. Like for the demand for raw material will get increased, labor demand will get increased. So because of the houses demand, because people wants their own house and everything like that, then therefore the demand for the labors got increased. So here the demand for houses is the reason why the demand for labors has got increased. Okay, so this is how we talk about as a derived demand. So because of one commodity, when the other commodity its demand is going to get increased, we say it is a derived demand. So it generally relates to the demand for factors of production. I hope you all know what are factors of production. We have four factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So these are the four factors of production that is going to get increased when the demand for any other commodity is going to increase. So this is the four type of demand that we talked about. Now the fifth and the last type of demand that we are going to talk about is the composite demand. Now the demand for goods that have multiple uses, the keyword here is multiple uses. Okay, demand for goods that have multiple uses is called as composite demand. So now what is going to be the composite demand? Composite demand, as we already talked about, that it is the demand for goods that have multiple uses. This is a keyword here, and you need to also understand that one thing that you need to understand, never get confused between joint demand, derived demand and composite demand. Usually over the particular your MCQs paper, these three types usually come in every options, and people used to get confused between joint, derived and composite demand, and that you don't have to, because when we talk about joint demand and when we talk about composite demand, these are two different situations and the circumstances. So in the circumstance where we are talking about two goods simultaneously using or demanding simultaneously both of them, and then the demand increase because of one, the other has been increased, then this is going to be the derived demand. Because of one, other has got increased, where they both are not anywhere directly related but indirectly related, or you can say one is related in a way of production to the other, then it is going to be called as the derived demand. And when we simultaneously demand two products, we say it is a joint demand. And composite demand, when only one product has several uses or alternative uses, we say it is a composite demand. So multiple uses is a keyword here. Okay, so you can take the example of your electricity. Okay, so when the demand for electricity for domestic use would reduce availability of electricity for commercial use. So basically these are the five types of demand that we talked about: individual demand, market demand, ex ante and ex post demand, joint demand, derived demand and the composite demand. All five are very important. And yeah, for more topics, stay tuned, like, share and subscribe.